radio for him.
3 weeks ago, you had authorized the advertising for ordinance, as it turns out, ordinance number 44. This is an ordinance that is a result of legislation that was passed and signed by the governor on February 14th, providing for fees on unconventional gas wells in counties. And what this ordinance provides for is the imposing of impact fees on wells that exist in a county. And the fees, they're not outlined in the ordinance because the ordinance refers to the Act, Title 58, which is the enacted regulations by the PUC as a result of the Act being signed. So the fees are not determined in here; they're determined by the Act, and they are based on a formula where the first year of the well's production, the rate ranges from $40,000 to $60,000 per well based on the gas price, and then over time scales down to year 15, which would be between $5,000 and $10,000 per well, again based on production and gas prices. So it's a formula. It's not just a fixed price, and it's also adjusted for inflation each year, starting in 2013. So this ordinance is based on both a model that was provided by CCAP and one that we also utilized that Lebanon County had formed, and it was reviewed by the solicitor and is now ready for your consideration. It's been advertised. We have proof of publication that it's been advertised timely, and with that I'll leave it to you for your
All right, let's entertain a motion and then we can discuss questions.
So I'll make the motion that we adopt the ordinance.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and any comments from
Well, I have some, but Joellen, you want to go
ladies
first?
first? Go.
Oh, ladies first, wow. Well, I really appreciate that we're going to be doing this because we do have a municipality in the county, Cold Spring Township, that has no municipal government and is one of the most likely areas that could receive a well. And we also have Tenaska on the back burner, who will generate electricity from gas, and from what I'm told, they also operate and own a drilling company. And I also know that in Schuylkill County, Mantora Gallagher, a former commissioner, had told me that they were approached about purchasing property in order to do some drilling. So all these things together make me feel comfortable in moving ahead and putting this ordinance on the books, because we don't want to wait until there's an accident to find out that there's a well. Hopefully this will then bring in revenue for any years that somebody might slip under the radar, those kinds of things. There's all kinds of considerations, but I think it's proactive, and I think that other municipalities also could be impacted, and this will pave the way for them to recoup expenses as well.
Okay. Bill?
Well, I think I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I'm not going to speak for the other two commissioners, but I struggled with this extensively because in a position as county commissioner, you certainly don't know everything and don't have a chance of knowing everything, and therefore you have to rely on resources. And we have received conflicting advice as to whether or not to adopt this, and I'm sure I'm not speaking out of turn. We were in line about a week ago not to adopt it because we received information that you couldn't actually adopt it until there was a well in your county. So for us to sit here today and say this is a cut and dried thing, and we're making a decision to adopt this today based on very clear information. I don't think we've had that very clear information and very clear definition. But I'm prepared to vote for this ordinance today because And I don't want to say the most recent because I don't want you to think that I change my mind no matter what I hear. But based on the advice of the solicitor and now the advice from the folks at CCAP, I'm going to vote for this, feeling that it's the best choice for the county at this time. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
I think it does, and I think we looked at the downsides being minimal, and so, but the upside being that we wouldn't lose any revenue by not doing it if someone did get a well in, maybe lose a year of revenue. So I think on balance, it's something I can support as well, and if was there a question?
Yes, who's going to oversee the program or ordinance, or is there going to be anybody in charge to see that fees are being submitted? If there would be a well?
The state sends us the money, I believe.
So the state, the county has nothing to do with it?
I don't know that we collect it.
Kate, it is collected by the PUC and distributed by the PUC, Public Utility Commission. They collect it and must distribute it within 3 months of collecting it. 60% of the fee to go to local use in impacted counties. Of that 60%, let's just say there's $1. Of that 60 cents on the dollar, 36% of that goes to the county, 37% goes to host municipalities, and 27% is then spread among all municipalities in that county. And they're done on the municipal disbursements are done on a formula basis. The remaining 40% of that dollar is allocated among state funds to address shale gas impacts and other environmental programs. Of the 40% that goes to the state, 25% of that state share goes back to all counties, regardless of whether or not there's any gas well impact or not. That goes back to all counties to replace or repair at-risk bridges. So it's really divvied up. That $1 gets divvied up a lot of ways, but the county never handles the money until the distribution from the PUC comes down. Is it Marcellus Shale that's there, or is it a deeper?
Well, Marcellus
Utica
comes out in Swatara State Park at the fossil bed area, and so that's actually Union, and as well, it could be Bethel Township. I'd have to look at the map to see where the line is, but we have potentially 3 or 4, well, anything north of 22 theoretically could have Marcellus Shale, but we're on the fringe, but below that is Utica. And for us not to put this on the books and be prepared, I was a Girl Scout. Be prepared was the motto, and I think this is a be prepared kind of ordinance.
And it may collect us for a couple of years because we weren't thinking maybe this could be 10 years till they get to us. But it makes us part of the process. And
We're looking out, we're doing due diligence to look out for our taxpayers, because if we have a 911 dispatch call or anything that would involve the county, it's going to cost us money. And to find out 3 years after the fact that there was a well there and lose 3 years of funding, and all that could be eaten up in one call, it just makes no sense. So this way, we're covered.